In a shocking revelation, U.S. Senator Shelley Capito, rank RWVA, expressed her disbelief that despite her relentless efforts to secure billions in funding for nationwide broadband expansion through the 2021 bipartisan infrastructure bill, not a single dollar had been spent 5 years later. However, there's finally a glimmer of hope on the horizon. West Virginia is once again poised to become one of the pioneering states to submit its final proposal for the U.S. Department of Commerce's National Telecommunications and Information Administration, NTIA, for the Federal Broadband Equity, Access and Deployment BEAD program. The public comment period for West Virginia's BEAD proposal recently concluded, with the final submission scheduled for Thursday, September 4th. This will initiate a 90-day review process at the federal level before the NTIA can either approve the proposal or suggest modifications. The BEAD program, established under the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, IIJA, with Capito playing a significant role in negotiations alongside former President Joe Biden, allocated over $42 billion to enhance high-speed broadband access across the nation. West Virginia was allocated $1.2 billion by the NTIA in 2023, but the journey to this point has been far from smooth. Initially, West Virginia was among the 3 leading states in the BEAD application process, ready to submit its final proposal back in April. However, Governor Patrick Morrisey announced in March that the state had been granted a 90-day extension to finalize its BEAD grant proposal. The BEAD program faced a temporary halt in early March as Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick reviewed the initiative. Criticisms arose, alleging favoritism towards certain technologies, excessive regulatory hurdles, and exorbitant costs. Capito attributed the delays in the BEAD program primarily to the Biden administration, which she believes allowed bureaucratic red tape to hinder the swift rollout of broadband services. She also mentioned the impact of the transition from President Donald Trump's administration. In a recent conversation, Capito lamented the delay, stating that although the $1.2 billion investment for West Virginia had been promised, not a penny had been disbursed. "We're looking at a time frame of almost 4 to 5 years, Capito shared over the phone on Friday. Bureaucracy, regulation, and complexity have held us back. Just as we were on the brink of accessing our funds, the change in administrations occurred," she told attendees at the West Virginia Chamber of Commerce's 89th Annual Meeting and Business Summit at the Greenbrier Resort in White Sulphur Springs. They decided to impose a hold, similar to many other initiatives. Now the new deadline is set for September. According to West Virginia's BEAD draft final proposal, the state's Office of Broadband, housed within the Department of Commerce, plans to allocate $625 million of the $1.2 billion BEAD grant to 9 provisional subgrantees. These funds aim to extend high-speed broadband to nearly 74,000 locations statewide. As reported by Mountain State Spotlight, the number of targeted locations decreased from 114,000 to 74,000 due to a reclassification. The funding is intended to improve broadband access in unserved and underserved areas. If the state's BEAD proposal receives approval, the lion's share of the $625 million will be distributed among Bridgeport-based Citynet, $229.2 million, Frontier Communications, $209.3 million, and Comcast, $61.3 million. The remaining funds will be split among smaller regional internet service providers, including Micrologic, Gigabeam, Prodigy Internet, Armstrong, and Hardy Telecommunications. Interestingly, the smallest allocation of $6.4 million will go to Elon Musk's Starlink, a low Earth orbit LEO satellite internet service provider. West Virginia has lagged behind in terms of broadband internet for far too long, Governor Morrisey stated to Business Summit attendees on Thursday. The good news is, thanks to the efforts of our predecessors and federal representatives, West Virginia is now in the final stages of its BEAD application. This has the potential to be a transformative moment for the Mountain State. During a private roundtable at the Chamber's Business Summit last Thursday, Capito was joined by NTIA Administrator Ariel Roth. They met with officials from the State Office of Broadband, members of the Broadband Enhancement Council, lawmakers, and representatives from ISPs and utilities. After years of delays by the Biden administration, NTIA is proud to advance the BEAD program and fulfill the benefit of the bargain for Americans, Roth remarked in a statement on Thursday. It was an honor to join Senator Capito and local stakeholders to discuss the next phase of the program and NTIA's commitment to bridging the connectivity gap in West Virginia permanently. We engaged in face-to-face discussions, strongly advocating for the approval of our BEAD application, Capito shared. Administrator Roth, on her inaugural official visit for the BEAD program, chose West Virginia to listen to our concerns. We're thrilled about this and eagerly anticipate serving those 74,000 locations as soon as our application and proposal gain approval. Broadband expansion has been a top priority for Capito since her tenure as a congresswoman and after becoming a U.S. Senator in 2015, leading to the creation of the Capito Connect program. This initiative aims to educate the public about the benefits of broadband access for households and businesses, the significance of public-private partnerships, and the necessity of innovative solutions to bring broadband to a state known for its rugged terrain and valleys. Capito has been a staunch advocate of fiber broadband for its reliability. However, under the Trump administration, the BEAD program shifted its focus towards LEO services, like Starlink. Despite this, Capito believes the diverse range of companies receiving BEAD funds in the state, including Starlink, will offer West Virginians various options based on their location. I think combining satellite services, major players, and smaller providers like Gigabeams and Micrologics is crucial, Capito emphasized. There seems to be a unified goal among all parties. They aren't competing against each other, but striving to achieve the common objective of completing broadband delivery. As the fourth-ranking member of the Senate Republican Majority Leadership and chairwoman of the Senate Environment and Public Works Committee, Capito is determined to leverage her influence to push an energy and infrastructure permitting reform package through Congress by the end of the year. This includes simplifying the process to allow fiber installation alongside future infrastructure projects. Whether it's energy development, housing, transportation, or water systems, the current timelines, expenses, repetition, and bureaucratic red tape prevent projects from progressing, Capito explained. For broadband initiatives, this is particularly critical. There are right-of-way issues where we already have the necessary permissions. If we're merely laying fiber along existing highways, why should we endure unnecessary hurdles? Permitting reform is a daily focus for us, requiring bipartisanship and reasonableness, but it will undoubtedly benefit these broadband projects.